If you follow my channel regularly, by now you'll have noticed that I've been slacking a bit. I promise that the review that I'm working on to cause the delay will be worth it, but I knew that doing a ton of Resident Evil streams wouldn't fill that void, so I wanted to look at my NES collection for a short game that I can review in a few minutes. A quickie, if you will. Giggity. The game I chose is an unlicensed affair called Bee-52. Now, I have a way to record from my Retron 5 nowadays, so I was gonna do that, but there's a problem. See, the copy of Bee-52 I have, factory sealed. Sort of. I had bought the game from a secondhand store and thought that they had sealed the game itself since it was complete in the box, but I don't think that's the case since when I opened the plastic wrap, gingerly, I might add, everything inside the box was still sealed and in excellent condition. I'm still not opening it up, so I decided to turn back to emulation to capture the footage. The problem with that is that most emulators I ran the ROM with glitched on the title screen. I tried moving on from the title, but most of the time the game froze on the first screen. Freaking awesome. So after trying about 4 or 5 different emulators, I found that Nestopia worked. Finally, I got around to playing the game. It's about time, because I remember trying to rent this game from the video store when I was a kid, and couldn't get it to work then either. After all this time, being able to finally play it, it's underwhelming. After all these years, to finally play a game that's evaded you for almost 30 years, yeah. You play as a bee who works for a honey factory, and it's his job to get the honey. So you need to leave your base, find flowers to get more honey, and then return the base to deposit the honey. All while you're doing this, other insects are going to be trying to stop you. The game feels very much like a more colorful Defender with its flying mechanics. So here's how it works. Using the directional pad controls where your little bee flies. Pressing A shoots a bullet that flies straight ahead, while pressing B stabs your stinger downwards. Don't worry, this bee won't die after a sting, but it can be difficult to land without timing it properly. To collect honey, you just need to find a flower and fly into its opening. The bee can only collect 3 units of honey before needing to return back to base, so you'll need to keep that in mind. If you die while holding honey, you'll lose your supply. Now, as I was playing, the levels ended once I filled up the honey jar shown at the bottom of the screen, but I couldn't finish level 3. Seriously. The reason I bring this up is that in this level, an ant or something will enter your base to steal the honey that you collected. If you can't make it back quick enough, you'll lose whatever you had stashed. Can the level still be completed? I only had 1 flower left. I don't know if the others will reopen for business again? The stage will complete anyway? You lose a life? I really don't know, as I died trying to get to that last flower, and that was my last life. I don't know what happens, but honestly, I couldn't give a rat's behind at that point. That's because the game is fun for a few minutes, but then gets very monotonous. Going back and forth means that you'll be seeing the same stage scenery a few times before you end the level. Enemies will of course respawn, and although many can be flown over or under, there are some that will get you if you're not careful, such as getting caught in the spider webs or accidentally flying into a grasshopper's leap. And if you're going back with a full 3 units of honey and you kick the bucket, what's the incentive to keep going? There are some power-ups that you can find to help you out, although I'm not entirely sure what they were. I know the one was a rapid fire power-up and the other was a shield, but not sure about some of the others I've seen. Plus, in order to get the power-up, you need to find a flashing, flying bug and sting it, as it's impervious to your bullet attack. Do so and the items pop out of its corpse. I'm sure I can read the manual to figure them out, but If the game continued to have good music, I probably would have kept playing a bit longer. But, unfortunately, music in the game is fairly limited. I heard songs in the title screen and stage intro, but during gameplay, there's only the most basic of sound effects that you'll hear. It's actually fairly disappointing considering the game was released in 1992. At least the graphics are fairly pleasing to look at. The grass on the ground looks pretty nice, and there's a fairly good amount of detail to all of the sprites. The thing I don't understand is why the bee's eyes move independently of its body. It's kinda creepy, actually. And that's Bee-52 for you. I kinda want to like it, but I just can't get into it. Maybe it's just because of the frustration of the third stage, but I couldn't will myself to keep trying to get further. It's not bad, just not great. The gameplay gets repetitive quickly, and the lack of music hurts, but at least the visuals are good and there's no bugs, which can't be said for most other unlicensed games out there. Codemasters may not have been licensed by the Big N, but at least their games were competent. And as such, if you're into horizontal scrolling shooters, I'd say give this one a shot. Although I didn't care for it, you might enjoy it. Final score? 6 out of 10. This is Reaper. Happy fragging.